Welcome back to La Rouges Yanks. Bienvenue à La Rouge and Yanks. We're talking between Canada soccer and U.S. soccer. Tonight, I'm going to be recapping the roster release for the Canadian women's soccer team. I just did the U.S. video, and now I'm doing the Canadian video. So here we are, and boy, do we have a boatload of names here. As Canada, as I said in the U.S. video, are continuing their victory tour celebration across Canada. Keep in mind, they've already been to Ottawa and they've been to Montreal. Only city missing is they haven't been to yet, which of course the men have been here. Is Toronto here? Let's see where else. The Prairie provinces, they haven't been to Alberta yet, or Edmonton. So Calgary or Edmonton, they still have yet to go to. Saskatchewan, they haven't been yet to yet. Manitoba, they haven't been to Winnipeg yet, or Atlantic Canada. So anywhere in Atlantic Canada, like Nova Scotia, New Brunswick. Anywhere out there, they still haven't been yet, but they have been to Quebec and parts of here in Ontario, except for Toronto. And now they're at BC, so we're on the West Coast now, and Victoria and Vancouver, or Vancouver and Victoria, respectively, I should say. Both games are against Nigeria. Keep in mind, these are both tune-up games for Canada, as are the U.S. Friendlies down there. But Nigeria is a tune-up game for Canada in their victory tour. For their gold medal. We're still celebrating the gold medal that they achieved during the Olympics. And man, and now as I'm saying, it's coming off the men's team qualifying for the World Cup for the first time in 36 years. What an amazing feat that Canada's accomplished. Canada soccer as a whole, both men and women, have accomplished over the past 10 years. I mean, within the past, let alone 7 years, if that, since 2015. We saw the women's team make the World Cup, and then from then the success carried over all the way through 2019. Then the men started gaining speed when they beat the U.S. in the Nations League, and that's when we saw the rise of Alphonso Davies and Jonathan David and that team that we currently see right now. And we fast forward to 2021, where Canada gets the gold medal in the Women's Olympics, and now 2022, literally a couple of days ago on Sunday, the Canadian men's team, Les Rouges, finally qualified for the World Cup for the first time in 36 years, and it's an amazing feat, and boy, are we overjoyed. And I'm pretty sure, as I said already in the previous videos, that grief and pain of 36 years of agony have finally been able to be released, but the job's not done yet for the Canadian men's side, but we'll see what they can do in Qatar. I'm here to talk about the Canadian women's side. As I said, we've been focusing on the men, but let's shift our focus to the women's side, and let's keep giving them attention for what they did and their accomplishment during the Olympics. And with that, I'm going to be going over the lineup, as well as after that, I'm going to be talking about who stands out and who I'm excited to watch and who I'm excited to see play, as well as where you can watch or game information for Nigeria in both cities of Vancouver and Victoria if you are lucky enough to get tickets. By the way, tickets were already on sale, so if you have been following Canada soccer, tickets were released about last week or a week and a half ago. Hopefully you got yourself a ticket. If not, maybe you can still get your tickets before they sell out, as guaranteed they're going to sell out. As the sport is growing across this country, and I love it. And this is exactly what I want to see. Sport, just let the sport grow, both men and women. And Canada will become a soccer nation or footballing nation very, very soon. It's only a matter of time. But in here, I have a boatload of names for you guys that we're going to be reading, and as I said, after that, I'm going to be sharing about the game and even talking about what this means and what these games mean. So here we are. So here's your Canadian women's soccer lineup. Will drop, and we're starting, as I always say, sorry in advance if I mispronounce or butcher your last name or first name of these players, but I'm going to just do my best here, as some of these players I recognize and some of these players I may not. But that's the all fun and joy in games of this, and I'll talk about that after I find out the names. So here we are. We start with Marie Yasmin Abdul, Janine Becky, Kadisha Buchanan. By the way, Kadisha and Tejan, as I probably already said in the previous video, are not related despite popular belief. Zoe Burns, who is a new name, or Zoe Burns. If it's not Zoe, it looks like Zoe Burns, but please correct me if you have the correct pronunciation for that. Alyssa Chapman, who we know. Here's a new one, Sabrina Deangelo. Wow. Jessie Fleming, we know. Vanessa Giles, we know. Julia Grosso, we know. Jordan Heidema, of course, Alphonso Davies' girlfriend, we know. Stephanie LeBay, we know. Chloe Lacasse. That name sounds familiar, but I don't know if I'm really familiar with her. Ashley Lawrence, we know. Adriana Leon, we know. Gabrielle Carly, we know. Eric McLeod, which does ring a bell. Victoria Prickett, rings a bell. Michelle Prince, we know. Quinn, we know. Dion Rose, we know. Jade Revere, we know. Sophie Skip, we'll always pronounce her name or last name wrong. Sophie Skip, we know. Desiree Scott, we know. Kaylin Sheridan, the goalkeeper, we know. Christine Sinclair, of course, you have to know her. She is arguably the most well-known Canadian women's soccer player to date. Gotta know her, and she's a hero and forever be a hero. And I think she's already been inducted to the Canadian Soccer Hall of Fame. If she hasn't, she definitely will, but I guarantee you that she probably already has, especially after winning a gold medal match for her team and her country. Then we have Sarah Strategas. I know I butchered that name wrong, but that's new, and man, we got some new players here. Evelyn Vines, we know her. Sarah Yecca, that name does sound familiar, but I don't know if she's really had a lot of playing time, so she'll be fascinating. And last and definitely not least, we know her, Shelina Zadorsky. A big time player, a big time moment during the U.S., especially in the Gold Cup medal match in Japan. But yeah, these are your names, as I said. Most of the names I do know. However, names such as starting with Zoe Burns, that is new, and I really need to do my research on her. And if you guys can also help me out down in the comments, and please tell me who some of these new names are, and I'll get to know them, and we can learn together. But Zoe Burns is definitely a new one, and I can't wait to see if she gets playing time, and really, really want to learn more about her, and just know, like, could this be like a younger generation also coming to the mix, like the U.S., a transitional period for the Canadians, or is it just more players that are being called up that we've never seen or rarely have seen playing time? So, interesting here. Then we have Sabrina Deangelo. That's like, once again, same situation. Really, really want to know more about her. And it'd be nice to see her play and to get some good playing time. Chloe Lacasse, as I said, that name does ring a bell slightly, but I don't know if she's really gotten all that much playing time. So, we would really, really love to see her play in the same boat. We have, next name is, yeah, as I said, the name that I butchered for sure. Sarah oh, gosh. Sarah, let me see if I can sound this out. Sarah Strategakis. For sure, once again, I have no idea, never heard of her, and really, really want to know more about her. As, man, I mean, I think she could be, is she one of also a young player that's making a transitional period into this team? We'll soon find out. And then the last name on here, Sarah Yecca. That name slightly sounds familiar. I think I saw her get a little playing time, but maybe she can get some more playing time during this victory tour, as well as some of the other new players I listed. So we'll be all eyes for that going into Vancouver and Victoria. And then a reminder here, as you know, tickets are on sale now. You can get it for Canada Celebration Tour or Tuni de Celebration in French. First game, Canada versus Nigeria, on April 8th, 7:30 p.m. Pacific time, which is 10:30 at night p.m. Eastern time. Vancouver, BC, and secure your seats through CanadaSoccer.com. And then the other game on the 11th of April, it's the same game or same team, Nigeria, but this time it's still also in 7:30, so Pacific time, Eastern Standard Time, that is 10:30 p.m. Victoria, BC this time, so same province, same time, different city. Once again, you can also secure your seats through CanadaSoccer.com. And as I said earlier on, I hope that the tickets aren't sold out, and if they are, then, I mean, that's good because it shows how much the sport is growing. But if they aren't, be sure, if you live out there, even if you don't, if you live anywhere in the country that you're watching this from, be sure to get your ticket. If you are able to go, great. If not, that's understandable, and there will definitely be another game and another moment where they'll come near you, hopefully. Fingers and toes crossed. But with that said, as I said, almost in the U.S. video, it's very, very similar. This is a tune-up match, or the Victory Tour is a tune-up match, and a chance to allow for the new showcasing of players for this Canadian national team for the women, as the 6 names or so that I listed off that were new. And yeah, this is a chance to let us see what they have as well as once I said with the U.S., get familiar and get ready for it. Canada, just like the U.S., Canada has a big year in CONCACAF, World Cup qualifying, Olympics, even rumored CONCACAF Gold Cup qualification next year. This year, it sounds like the CONCACAF Champions, Champions Tournament will have a lot of say on these next upcoming competition, which I'm really, really looking forward to coming up. As more content for me to talk about and more just talent I get to watch for both teams play. Canada, I get to see these new names and learn more about them and just really, really get to know them if they get playing time. Hopefully they do, fingers and toes crossed. But, I mean, they've seen interesting names, and I'm really, really fascinated, just itching and dying to get to know them more, including doing my own research on them behind the scenes, even if they don't get playing time. But the 2 games out in Victoria and Vancouver, BC, against Nigeria, good opponent. They'll definitely test Canada. I say they'll reasonably test. I know New Zealand was the last opponent Canada played in both Montreal and Ottawa, and they kind of tested them. It was I think it was 5-1 in Ottawa for sure, and then it was I don't know if it was a closer scoreline in Montreal, but they played a back-to-back. Canada won both times, but Nigeria, he's a new opponent, but a back-to-back, and should be fun. Should be interesting to watch as Canada continues their victory tour across the country. And on that note, please leave a comment down below and see what city you would like the Canadian women's team to come to next. Whether it be a city near you or just any city in Canada, from coast to coast to coast. From the prairies to Ontario or Southern Ontario, so Toronto is still on the list. The Atlantic Canada, you still got Halifax out there. Those 3 regions for sure. They're in BC now. You can check that off. They can still go to Winnipeg, Saskatchewan, Saskatoon, Regina, Edmonton, Calgary. They still got those cities they can go to too. Although I think they're most likely, if they are going to play in the prairies, they're going to play in Edmonton because the stadium is big and the Canadian men's team played there. But they can also play in Winnipeg, which honestly, that's the next city aside from, of course, Toronto, which I'm currently in now. Obviously, I want to see them play here, but I mean, I wouldn't mind seeing them play in new Canadian cities that have rarely seen games. Hamilton, you can't forget about Hamilton. The Canadian men's team also played there too, and look at the result they got against the U.S. So yeah, you still got Hamilton in Toronto in terms of Southern Ontario cities that, if you're using CFL stadiums, yeah, you still got those 2 cities, as well as maybe Quebec City if they have a stadium. I don't think they do, but then they already did Montreal if they are just going to do Quebec. But Atlantic Canada, I wouldn't mind seeing them play out there. Winnipeg, I wouldn't mind seeing them play, of course, when it's warm. I don't know if they want to play in a freezing tundra. Edmonton, same story. I wouldn't mind seeing them play there. Calgary is another one too. They can use, hopefully, they can use the Calgary Stampede Stadium if they could for CFL. And then, of course, Victoria and Vancouver they're already covering. But there's a number of options. Saskatoon, you can use it out there, although hopefully they can draw a number of fans out there. But I think they will, but we just got to keep growing the sport here. It will take time. Regina, Saskatoon, play out there. And just, yeah, as I said already, I really, really wouldn't mind seeing them play in new locations and new cities that typically, historically, this team is Canada, neither the men or women have never played at. So that's just my thought on the Victory Tour. You guys tell me below what city you would want to see them play in. But yeah, these games are just really, as I said early on, they are building games, and they're there to really check Canada's preparation for this big upcoming year for 2021 for these competitions coming up. So I'm fascinated. New talent shattered on the bench, and even Christine Sinclair. So we got old and new mixed together. I'm really excited to see what Canada can do for both these tune-up games. And yeah, that pretty much does it. And if you like this video, make sure you like, share, subscribe, tell your friends about it. And before you go, remember to hit the bell notification. That way you know when a video is posted or uploaded. And also tell your friends We've got some new names on here, and Canada's mixing old and new, but it's important to see let's see what they can do out in BC for these two tune-up games against Nigeria and Victoria and Vancouver.